And a Merry Clinchmas, Dodgers Nation. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show after the Dodgers win their 9th division title in their last 10 years. Last year, the Giants, they took the division. They took it away from the Dodgers. There was a glitch in the matrix. There was a disturbance in the force, but the Dodgers, they're division champs once again. And we're going to celebrate tonight. The Dodgers, a major accomplishment. And this was supposed to be this juggernaut of a division, the big bad NL West. The Giants, they were a giant disaster this season, a giant disappointment. The Dodgers, they took care of business. They were consistent all season long. This team's will to win every single day. Their competitive nature with this team. Dave Robertson, outstanding job. The addition of Freddie Freeman, the next man up mentality with this team has been outstanding, and we have a lot to get into on tonight's show. I think Clayton Kershaw, he was fantastic in his third start, returning from injury with that back issue. Since returning, a 1.5 ERA, 3 runs in 18 innings. But guys, let's celebrate. I know the big picture. We're talking about a World Series, but guess what? You can't win a World Series unless you make it to the playoffs. And if you win your division, you have an easier road to the World Series. So this was a major box that the Dodgers checked off tonight, winning the NL West championship. And it was just a fantastic showing by the Dodgers, who continue to dominate the D-backs. They had that little shark in the pool. Hey, this Dodger team is too cool for pool. They weren't trying to jump in your pool. Okay, you're not that special. That was a little baby shark, and just like you're the garden snake. So I don't even think that was even that funny by the Diamondbacks. But 98-43, and they clinched their division in the 144th game of the season. So what the 141st game of the season for the Dodgers. So what an absolutely outstanding accomplishment for this Dodger team that continues to really just be a historic team. And the Dodgers clinching in their 141st game, it's the fastest the club has claimed a division title or an NL pennant in LA Dodgers history, with the exception, of course, of the 60-game season in 2020. So this team, historic, on pace to win 112 games, a 320 run differential. But let's get into this comment section. Where are you celebrating the Dodgers division title tonight? Give us those cities, zip codes, area codes. It's starting to feel a lot like the postseason here on Clinchmas Day. We got Lakeland, Florida in the house. Represent. Nice. Burn that midnight oil. Gallup, New Mexico. Darcy, Oregon. By the way, I'm looking for that comment of the night as always. And if you make that comment of the night or you bring that fire take, if you bring that comment of the night, you're going to see one of these.
You win.
And if you bring that fire take, you're going to see one of these.
Fire take.
And how are you guys celebrating tonight? What are you drinking? I know how I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating with a crisp and refreshing Jim Beam Highball Seltzer. These are fire. I'm going to crush a couple of these right after the show. Please drink responsibly. Spilled Cokes are all over myself tonight. King Kershaw, Craig Osterberg. Yeah, I think Clayton Kershaw, one of the big takeaways from tonight's outing was just how good he looked out there on the mound. I thought the effectiveness of that slider, the way he was locating that fastball, the top of the zone, bottom of the zone. I mean, he was making light work of this Diamondbacks team that doesn't like to chase a lot, that goes out there and they try to put together competitive at-bats, but he really made light work of them, and that is a big-time development for this team, because like I've said, he's my X factor for the Dodgers, because we know what they have in Julio Urias, we know what they have in Clayton Kershaw if he's healthy, and if he can be that true frontline starter and they can be a two-headed monster, it's going to go a long way. And you look at his night tonight, he goes 7 innings, allowed just 2 hits, had 5 strikeouts, was very efficient, 82 pitches, 55 for strikes, and yeah, he just got the job done all night long. He allowed that hit there, and he went 13 straight. He retired 13 straight Diamondbacks after Perdomo's 1-out single in the third. So, yeah, he was fantastic. I think the Dodgers are in great shape with Clayton Kershaw, and he looks, like I said, the way he's throwing that curveball, getting that back leg around, that is going to be big time. But let's celebrate this division title. Where are you guys celebrating from tonight? How big of a deal do you think this is for the Dodgers to get back on top? Because, look, this was becoming routine. This was becoming a absolute absolute lock every single year. It felt like a rite of passage. Okay, you've got death taxes and the Dodgers winning the NL West, and it was the NL West and the rest. But last season with the Giants, with their orange and black magic, winning 107 games and taking the Dodgers all the way to the final game of the season, I think that it makes this one that much sweeter to know all the work that this team put in. And look, it's not like it's been just sunshine and rainbows and roses for this Dodgers team. They have dealt with injuries all season long. Their opening day starter, Walker Buehler, he's out for this season. He's missed most of the season. Blake Trinan, their best high-leverage reliever, he's missed most of the season. So they discover guys like the Evan Phillipses of the world, the additions to Freddie Freeman, having Trey Turner for an entire season, having a healthy Mookie Betts, having Max Muncy, who hit another home run tonight. We're going to talk about Max Muncy because, hey, if any of you guys were saying that you wanted to get rid of Muncy and this and that, tonight he hit his 4th home run in his last 5 games, and he became the 5th Dodger this season to hit 20 home runs. So now 5 Dodgers have hit 20 bombs this season. So we're going to talk about that as well. But and how about Mookie Betts' catch in the 7th there? Honestly, the athleticism on display for that catch by Mookie Betts, and he's a guy who can be stoic out there, and he'll make a highlight play that would be the best play of another player's career, and then he'll just shake it off and just do the 2 sign, 2 outs or whatever, and act like it's a routine play. Even Mookie Betts, I think, was impressed by his ability there when he made that fantastic grab on that McCarthy flyout, traveling 113 feet. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers winning the division? And is this a season where it's World Series or bust? Is the World Series or bust season for you for the Dodgers? In my opinion, I think you celebrate tonight. I think you pop bottles, you pop champagne, because look, it is a long season. I mean, we're talking about all the way back in March and April, this team getting ready to go at Camelback Ranch, and you're playing daily. So I think a nice little respite, a way to celebrate with your teammates, I think it's going to be big. And here we go. Let's jump in and do rapid fire. D-Mac got the box wine on tap from Nando 390. That's a fire take. Eyes on the prize, boys. Bring it. Yeah, what are your big takeaways from tonight as well? What are your thoughts on Kershaw's outing? Joey Gallo, he hit a big bomb. Joey Gallo, man, how about Joey G? What do you guys think of Magic Joey out there? I'm telling you, do you guys see him with his shirt off with the Chippendales? My man looks like he ate Gabe Kapler. Mr. Big Chest, Joey Gallo with the big bomb today. It was actually his biggest bomb of the season, 438-foot blast in today's game. So yeah, it was a big shot by Joey Gallo there in the top of the 2nd inning. A 1-1 pitch, an absolute tank to center. Longest home run of the season for Joey Gallo, Yankees or Dodgers. So he was feeling right. And also later in the game, when he grounded that ball out, it looked like he had rolled his ankle pretty bad, but it was nice to see him back out there on the field. But yeah, 9th NL West title in the last 10 seasons. I love LA. Here we go. We got Get Buzz on that Holy Ghost. Happier Javier. Jack Daniels in the 702. Yeah, what are you guys sipping on tonight? If you, I would recommend definitely some Hornitos tequila, Hornitos Perdomo, or some Jim Beam Highball Seltzer. This stuff is fire, I'm telling you. Drinking a protein shake here in Redlands, Cali. Let's go, boys in blue. Hey, man, you Joey Gallo's friend? Crushing protein shakes. A Funky Muncy back on track. That's from Craig Osterberg. Yeah, I mean, you look at late in the season, some of the things that you'd want to see happen have happened for this Dodger team. Max Muncy getting back on track. A lot of you guys were wanting to basically send Max Muncy and fly him to the moon, send him to the moon, and just cut him from this team and just DFA him and just get rid of Muncy. But really, it turns out that he has really figured things out at the plate, and it's more than a small sample size. So he's went from bad Muncy to mid Muncy to now it's Max Muncy once again, a 906 OPS in August, and heading into tonight, a 1,038 OPS in the month of September, and then another big night for Max Muncy. And yeah, I think the big difference with Max Muncy, Mr. Craig Osterberg, a day one here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show, is the fact that Max Muncy, you see in that at-bat there, came in the top of the 7th on a 3-2 count, and it was a four-seam fastball, middle, 94 miles per hour. And what did he do? He crushed it to right field. He didn't miss that mistake, and that's a pitch that we saw earlier in the season that Max Muncy wasn't getting full extension on. In this situation, he's barreling it up. He's putting his bat on the ball. He's being aggressive, and he's being decisive at the plate, and he's not missing those that he was missing early in the season. So he's capitalizing on those mistakes, and Max Muncy is Mash Muncy once again. So yeah, it's a great point from you. It's a fire take for sure. But here, back in the comments section, guys. By the way, if you're new to the show, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you really want to help out the channel, smash that like button. Like I said, if you're new to the show, my name's D-Mac. I'm the man of the fan. They call me the human hype machine down below in the comment section. But I'm here to get your takes, all your perspective, all your fire takes on Dodger baseball. Brandon Crawford had ringworm last year. That's from Jamie Lannister. We got Nando D-Mac. Take your shirt off and pour some champagne on yourself. You guys want to see me go full Joey Gallo, man? I need one of those suits that maybe Bellinger and JT can let me borrow one, okay? Then maybe I will. 90716 in the house. Carlos over on YouTube. Redlands in the house. Who is your player of the game? Let me know down below as well. Do you think that Kershaw is going to get it done? What is your, on a scale of 1 to 10, after what you've seen from Clayton Kershaw since his return from the IL? Remember, he had that back pelvic issue early on the season, and then he went on the IL again with the lower back pain. He left his start against the Giants, and then he got that cortisone shot, and he is feeling good. I can tell when Clayton Kershaw is feeling good when he's out there on the mound and he has that command. I think that tonight you saw not only was it a great start for Kersh, it was an efficient start, and yeah, he was making light work of this Diamondbacks team. So yeah, let me know down below in the comment section, what is your Clayton Kershaw trust level for the postseason? We know he has an ERA over 4. We know he's had his ups and downs, and some of those have been by the Astros cheating, the Dodgers putting him in bad spots on short rest, the Dodgers not giving him run support like Game 2 of the 2013 NLCS versus the Cardinals. But how do you feel? Just what's your gut tell you? What does the eye test tell you about Clayton Kershaw? Because for me, I'm feeling pretty good about how he's looking right now. I think that it was a blessing in disguise. It was a silver lining, and I think it was from the Lord above. And you guys know I'm not that religious of a guy, but I do fully believe in Christianity, and I think that God, the baseball gods, did us a solid in giving him that time off, so that way he can be ready to go for the postseason. If you look at his starts, 3 starts so far, and in 18 innings allowed just 3 runs. And you remember he had that first inning where he had a walk with the bases loaded for the first time since 2015. So I think, save for all the champagne popping. By the way, here's another question for you guys. You guys are in the clubhouse. You're celebrating this Dodgers championship. Are you going goggles or no goggles? Me, I'm going no goggles, man. You got to feel that champagne burn. You got to live it up, and I think that I'm going no goggles. But here we go. Anthony Keene, don't underestimate the power of the beard. Anthony Keene, fear the beard, okay? 5 bombs for Joey. Joey bombs, and like I said, he's very dangerous. To me, when he gets a hold of one, it's like a Mike Tyson uppercut. I mean, that thing is falling like a redwood in the forest. He just absolutely obliterates a baseball. I mean, they gave a distance to it, but I don't even think that ball has landed as of yet. But yeah, the power is in the beard. Mitchell, what was the incident late in the game? I came back and Doc was on the field, and the Dodgers were barking. Oh, nothing major happened there. Celebrate until you pass out, Dodgers players EB. Yeah, look, man, I'm not saying you party like it's 1999 or 2020 or 1988 or anything like that, but I definitely think that you want to celebrate, because guess what? Yes, Clayton Kershaw, who is the only guy that was on this team back when this streak started, back when they won their first division title, when they went on the 9 out of 10 year run. But look, there's some guys, the Andrew Heaney's of the world, the Joey Gallos of the world. Not every player gets to experience this. Not every player gets to feel the feeling of winning a division title. And look, let's be honest, winning your division in Major League Baseball is a lot more difficult than doing so in any other sport, okay? It's tougher to make the postseason. It's tougher to win your division in a sport like baseball when you just consider the sheer amount of opportunities to do so. When you talk about the 6 divisions, 3 in the National League, 3 in the American League, but also a 162-game marathon of a season. It is not easy. And look, let the guys have some fun. Let them let loose. Look, you guys know when you have your parties at work, like your Christmas parties, you learn things. You see a different side of your coworkers, and then the next day you're in the break room and you're all bonding about it, and you guys have a different connection. So I think that this will help them. They'll have that different bond. They'll party it up. They'll drink some beers. I'm sad that we're not going to see drunk Max Scherzer, or we're not going to see Walker Buehler opening a beer bottle with his teeth, but it should be fun. But it's nice to see Dave Vassay's eyes burning like he does every season. But here we go. We got and also, let's not forget, too, in 2020, they weren't able to celebrate this way. In 2020, there was this thing called, I don't know if you remember about it, it was called the coronavirus or something like that. That thing was we put everything on hold, and you could even celebrate a World Series in this fashion. So for the Dodgers, yes, they celebrated last year winning in the postseason, but to celebrate a division title like this, I think it's great for the boys in blue. But here we go. I trust Kershaw this year. Dylan Hare, Jamie Lannister, Belly 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, but yeah, he's totally back. Jamie Lannister, I don't think that you have quoted me in saying that Cody Bellinger is back, and tonight definitely had a little bit of a setback. There's no question about it. If you look at Bellinger tonight, he ends up going 0 for 4 with actually 2 strikeouts tonight, 2 left on base for Belly. He's hitting just above that Mendoza line, but you look at Chris Taylor. He goes 2 for 4 tonight. So CT3, he goes 2 for 4 tonight, and he's played much better. I think Chris Taylor is turning it around. The Chris Army Nice our guy that went through Ock Taylor in the 2021 postseason. He's a guy that's looking a lot better at the plate. You saw him rip that double down the left field line, and that was he almost went to third on the play. So he's a guy hitting the ball much harder. Cody Bellinger tonight, I thought that, look, he's looking more athletic at the plate, and that's important, and that's something that he has continued to really strive for in the last couple of days, is his ability to just look like a more competent hitter at the plate, a guy that looks like he can hit for contact, and you're starting to see him get into his swing quicker. You're starting to see a little knee bend there. You're starting to see those hands a little more active earlier in the at-bat. So I definitely think it's a step in the right direction. I think you're seeing a little more of an open stance. So I'm just happy that he's at least tinkering with the mechanics of that swing and putting himself in a better position to make contact. And look, the good thing for Dodger fans is this isn't last season where you basically had to play Cody Bellinger. He was a necessary guy to play even before he caught fire and had a 907 OPS in the postseason. You do have all options, and hey, who created that option? It was Cody Bellinger when he ran into Mookie Betts and broke his McRib, which forced the Dodgers to trade for Trayce Thompson for cash consideration. So, look, the Dodgers are going to be in good shape. You saw Joey Gallo and Chris Taylor having success. So, I still believe in Cody Bellinger, and I will say this. What happened in 2020, everyone said he struggled throughout the regular season. It was a 60-game season, so to me, I gave everyone a mulligan through that. And then what happened, makes the great catch against the Padres in the NLDS. He hits the bomb, the atomic belly bomb heard round the world off Chris Martin in Game 7 of the NLCS. He has the home run and the rob job in the World Series, has the bomb off glass now. So I think Cody Bellinger, those seasons, they ended poorly. He came through in the postseason in 2020. Last year, had a horrific regular season, one of the worst we've ever seen. He comes through in the postseason. So if that pattern continues, I think the Dodgers will be just fine. Just remember this, his glove doesn't slump. Yes, he'll have his ups and downs at the plate. He'll go through with struggles, but that glove, it still plays in the outfield. But here we go, back into the comment section. How you guys partying tonight? I want all your thoughts and reaction from the Dodgers clinching the NL West crown in their 141st game of the season. That is the quickest clinch that the LA Dodgers have ever had in franchise history. The 1955 World Series champion Brooklyn Dodgers clinched the pennant in just 138 games. That was the fastest clinch in franchise history, but to win the division 9 times out of the last 10 seasons, this isn't normal, okay? This is truly the golden age of Dodger baseball, and I want to ask you guys a question I asked over on Twitter earlier. Do you consider the Dodgers over the last 10 years a dynasty? I'm going to give you my thoughts on that in just a second, but first I want to hear what you have to say down below. What up, D-Mac? What up, Ruben over on YouTube? Dylan Hare says, yeah, loved reading how much this all means to Heaney. Yeah, absolutely. D-Mac, take a shot. All right, man, take a big shot. This is filled with get those Uber riders. Guys, send that Uber. Oh, man, I'm straight up buzzed, bro. I'm going to be streaking right now. Cody been terrible. Cody been terrible, but how many times has he made a catch or sent a ball to the moon to tie or win a game for us in the playoffs? Andrew G., yeah, I mean, we talk about Belly a lot, and we're going to continue. You guys know Baywatch. We're going to have Belly Watch, okay? Every single show, we're going to check in on Cody Bellinger because heading into tonight's action, he was 4 for his last 8. Tonight he goes 0 for 4, had 2 strikeouts. So look, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have to take a step back before you take a step forward. But let's not forget, Cody Bellinger is a guy that has come through for the Dodgers in the postseason as recently as last year, and we'll see how it plays out. But, yeah, don't sell all your belly stock quite yet. Mike M., Urias, Kershaw, Anderson, Gonsolin. Mike M. So is that your postseason rotation? To me, if you look at this Dodgers team and you look at their rotation, I think that really what it comes down to is, can Tony Gonsolin come back towards the middle to late September and still be stretched out enough to be a starting pitcher? I think that's the big question. Doc said yesterday, it was a little ho-hum. He said he felt just okay after that throwing session that he had. And then you see Tyler Anderson. He's put together a fantastic season. I think yesterday did have his best stuff, didn't have a great feel for that cutter, that changeup, but he got 3 double play balls. That is why I call Tyler Anderson Tyler the outs creator, because he has this ability to just get big outs and make big pitches in big spots to just get the job done. So I think that the biggest key is for Dustin May to continue to make progress and continue to figure things out. You talk about him issuing the walks. The command hasn't been pretty lately. He's been hitting batters, gave up a few home runs in the start before the last one he gave up a start to Cronenworth, and he gave a couple bombs to one to Drury and Machado in his last start against the San Diego Padres. So yeah, I actually gave another one to Machado. So, yeah, I think, that's a big development for the Dodgers, continuing to get him right. But, how do you guys feel about the Dodgers starting rotation right now? I've got some more thoughts on that in just a second. But here, who should be the number 2 pitcher after Urias? That's from Carlos Alberto on YouTube. I'll answer that in a second. We got Freddie. That's from Edgar. Yeah, man, Freddie, he's absolutely unbelievable. Fredericks of Hollywood, the way that he hit his 20th home run today. And Freddie Freeman, he's put together an MVP caliber season. Freddie Freeman has been everything the Dodgers could have hoped he would be, and then some. When you consider the fact they paid him 6 years, $162 million, the Braves just cheaped out. They didn't want to offer him that 6th year. They offered him 5 years, $135 million, and the Dodgers said, hey, we are right here. We will take that rebound, man. We will be like Dennis Rodman. Boom, take that rebound. And the Dodgers did just that. And Freddie has been Fred hot in L.A. all season long. And I think that he's been one of the biggest reasons why this team hasn't had a big slump. Their longest losing streak was 4 games back in late May and early June. You remember they lost to the Pirates, lost those 3 straight to the Phillies before the flux capacitor Gavin Lux was Gavin Clutch and hit that walk-off shot. And this team's consistency, I think, starts at the top and it trickles down. And that's why Freddie Freeman, he is an absolute professional out there. He posts each and every day. He loves to play. Like I said, they're going to have to find a way to give him some time off. And Dave Roberts and Freddie Freeman did say that after they clinched the division title that they would start to do that, but I'll believe it when I see it. You're going to have to call security. You're going to have to put barbed wire around that first base just to avoid having him play. But yeah, Freddie Freeman, what more can you say? Leads the Dodgers this season with a .929 OPS, slashing .329, .402, .527, 45 doubles and 20 home runs. I mean, the last guy to put it together a season like that for the Dodgers was Corey Seager. And the last time that's happened, too, in Major League Baseball was 2018 Mookie Betts. So, yeah, Freddie Freeman, he's been outstanding for L.A. And do you guys think that he should garner some MVP attention? Let me know down below. Do you think that Paul Goldschmidt has it sewn up? Compton in the house. Go Dodgers. Thanks for rocking with us, Jermaine, over on YouTube. Getting back to your question earlier, who's my number 2 starter? I think it's clearly Clayton Kershaw. I think what he has shown since he's been back is that he's feeling good. And when he's feeling good, he can still be effective out there and give you a quality start. As long as he has the feel for that slider, as long as he's living low, he's living long, and he's painting the edges. For Kershaw, you just want to avoid leaving stuff out over the heart of the plate. And I think that when he's healthy, when he's right, he's going to get the job done. I think tonight you saw the way he was able to just paint the zone, and he was efficient all night long, and that is when Clayton Kershaw is at his best. And I think that for me, there's no question he's your Game 2 starter. To me, you guys know I'm giving the ball to the Julio Urias, but tonight, 7 innings of work, 5 punchies, 82 pitches in 7 innings, and that was the longest that he's gone into a game, the first time he's gone to the 7th since he was flirting with the perfecto against the Angels back in June. So, yeah, feeling really good about Kershaw. Let me ask you guys down below because, look, you could make the case if Tony Gonsolin is healthy. He also made the All-Star team. If he's stretched out enough, would you give him the ball in Game 2 with the strides that he's made this season? I think Tony Gonsolin, I think that the time is meow for the great Catsby, and I'm very high on him, but he also has to prove that he can get it done in October because Tony Gonsolin, in his postseason career, 13 1/3 innings pitched, a 9.45 ERA. He served up 6 home runs in 7 games. So he has to keep the ball in the yard, but I think he's just such a different pitcher this time around. And we got shirtless Kershaw there, man. And then also Dustin May, when you talk about top-end stuff, when you talk about stuff that plays up in the postseason, if he really shores up that command and figures things out, especially with that two-seam fastball, that sinker, he's going to be an absolute problem for the rest of the league. But tonight, I loved Kershaw's pitch mix. He went with the four-seam fastball 49% of the time. The velocity was up just a slight tick. And, I feel really good about Clayton Kershaw right now, and I love the fact that they don't have to ride him hard down the stretch. They can keep those bullets, and they can empty the chamber in the postseason, empty that whole clip. Don't forget Heaney, Andrew.G. Look, Andrew Heaney, I've talked about him at length on this show. He has been home run Heaney, allowing 11 home runs in his last 5 games, but the punch-outs have been there. 42 strikeouts, a 14.9 strikeouts per 9. It's just a matter of avoiding the heart of the plate. Same issue in keeping that four-seam fastball up and just working that slider that's filthy down and in to righties. And I feel good about him too. I think he's going to give you multi innings of relief out of the pen, and I think you're going to see. I think there's going to be a scenario where you have a Julio Urias at the top of the rotation, followed by a Clayton Kershaw, and then depending on how Gonsolin looks from a health standpoint, I think he'll for sure get the ball. But I do think that's a big question at this point. The time is ticking on Tony Smokes as far as getting him back in time to build him up properly. But look, you have Tyler Anderson, and then you have Dustin May. So don't forget, you do have some back-to-back days in the DS in games 3 and 4, and then games 4 and 5 in the NLCS. So I think you're going to see them mix it up and maintain some flexibility to give Dustin May some spots in out of the bullpen at times. I definitely think they're going to keep that open. But we got Kershaw number 2. Kershaw is our number 1. That's from Jamie Lannister. We got Don't Feel Good About It if Gonsolin is out. That's from James Diamond over on YouTube. Jason Diamond over on YouTube. We got Jermaine Torres, Dodgers will be champions. Anderson, number 3. Yeah, right now, let me know. Yeah, D-Max said the legend. Kobe said job not finished. Lopez.Ramon 14. Yeah, look, I still think Kobe is the North Star of LA sports. I think he always will be. And I think that this organization, I think teams that represent LA take on that Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. And I think that this team realizes that it's all about winning a World Series. They're not content. They're not satisfied with winning one World Series in 2020 that was on a 60-game regular season that they didn't win at their home ballpark, that was on a crowd that had 14, 15,000 or wherever it was. They're not happy about the fact they had to celebrate a World Series on Zoom. They won a parade, okay? So I'm telling you, this organization is as hungry as if they never even won the 2020 World Series. So I'm telling you, that is from within this organization. They are hungry for a world championship, and they want to do it this year, and they want to silence all those haters out there that want to say Mickey Mouse ring when your team, you would be celebrating just as much if your team did win, but you didn't. But start Alberto tomorrow. That's from Mike M. You're going to see Michael Grove. That'd be great if they did start Hanser the Answer Alberto. By the way, he's pitched in 7 of his 8 appearances have came in wins this year. So Dodgers have had a great teams, but very rarely had superstar position players. The difference they make is wild. Anthony Keene, that's a fantastic take. I absolutely 100% agree with you, and that's what I've been saying this entire season, to be frank, is that the difference between this team, and I'm going to ask you guys this, is this the best Dodgers team that you've ever seen? Let me know down below. Let me know. Because to me, this absolutely is, and it starts with that top-end elite talent. Because we know 2017, that team that won 104 games, they were a great Dodgers team. They also had a slump. And they they were able to make it to the World Series. And, yeah, that team won 104 games, but you didn't see the Trey Turners, the Freddie Freemans, the Mookie Bettses, guys that have won MVP awards, guys that were perennial superstars of their sport, and they truly have 3 top 10 to 15 guys in the 1, 2, 3 spots in their order. And I think that's the difference between this Dodgers team. And I think when you also consider the fact that from a pitching standpoint, you have had the maturation of Julio Urias. Other guys have come up to really provide more depth out of that bullpen spot. Yeah, to me, this is the best Dodgers team I've ever seen. I've been watching the Dodgers my entire life, and I think that this team, when you look at this lineup, there's really no let up. And the way they look at just Merrill Kelly, he's a pitcher, for example, tonight, who Merrill Kelly has been very efficient of late. He's a guy that has been one of the best pitchers in the league at getting chase out of the zone. And look at his last couple starts. His last 3 starts, he went over 7 innings. In the month of September, a 2.57 ERA. But guess what? He ran into the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, the BWO, the Blue World Order. And what do? They grind out at bats. They work your pitch count up. And you saw that tonight with the Dodgers working that pitch count up to 42 pitches after 2. So to me, it's not just the talent, it's the fact that you have guys that have this approach, this mentality at the plate where they're not expanding the strike zone. They're making the opposing pitcher work. They're also trusting the guys ahead of them and behind them to get clutch base hits. They're not trying to go up there and win the game or tie the game by hitting a 10-run home run all by themselves. So I love that they don't give up at bats. The approach has been fantastic with this team, and I think you look at the grit of this team as well. I think that a lot of times you've heard a lot of people say that, early in the year, this team doesn't have a lot of heart. I mean, you're really seeing comments like that early in the season because you didn't see that many comeback wins early on. This team, 42 comeback wins this season. That leads all of Major League Baseball. So hashtag win for Vin. That's a great take. And let's not forget that Vin Scully. Well, you couldn't have said it better. Win for Vin. And, of course, the passing of the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it, Vin Scully, for the Dodgers to win a World Series in the year that he passed away. I think that would be poetic. I think that would be the right thing to do. Imagine him and Jackie and Tommy Lasorda and all the Dodger greats watching from Blue Heaven down there. It'd be fantastic. Lopez, D-Mac. What up, Lopez? LA versus the Astros. Who is your World Series pick? Let me know. Edgar says Dodgers versus Astros. I'd rather go with May. That's from Boomer Assassin. Mike M. May and Heaney give up bombs and walks. Yeah, I mean, you don't want that in the postseason. There's no question about that for sure. I think that Dustin May, like I said, we'll see. And they're going to move his start back up to San Francisco with Michael Grove going tomorrow. Last start, D-May, he allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, gave up the home run, and then the start before that gave up 2 home runs, had 5 walks, hit a few batters. So, yeah, I mean, his ERA in the month of September, an 8.10 ERA, allowing 9 runs in 10 innings. First 2 starts against the Miami Marlins. They're basically like little goldfish down there. He had a .82 ERA, allowing just 1 earned run in 11 innings of work. So, yeah, he definitely has some work to do, but it's all a part of the process for Dustin May. But here we go, down below. And I still think it's going to be a red October. I truly do. I think that May showed a lot of moxie since he's been back up, and I think that it's just, look, it's tough to come back from Tommy John surgery. It doesn't happen overnight. It would be great if it did. Just as Tommy Kahnle, who was activated today. He comes back and he wasn't able to have very much success, and he goes down with an injury himself. So, but yeah, back to the comment section. Here we go. We got D-Mac, the 2X Cy Youngs. We got the D-Mac Pound your drink for October vibes, Nando 390. Okay, I don't have much left, but all right, you guys trying to see that Chuck McCain? We won a parade from Edgar. Still feels surreal that Kobe's gone. Yeah, Alex Renteria for sure. Dodgers need to win a World Series in a full season. That's from Jason Diamond. Nope. This is the answer to my question about, do you think this Dodgers team is a dynasty? Is it a Dodgers dynasty? To me, I don't consider a dynasty yet. I'm with you 100%. I think they have to win another World Series. I've called them the incomplete elite. Yes, division titles are nice. Yes, pennants are nice. Yes, the Astros cheated in 2017. Yes, the 2018 Red Sox cheated to an extent. But what happened in 2019. They won 106 games. They lost the Game 5 of the NLDS at home. They weren't able to get it done. Last season, same situation. A great season, but when you have the roster like this, when you have a payroll that's first in the league that's north of $265 million, when you're winning at a historic pace where you're going to obliterate the franchise record in wins with 112, when you have a run differential of 320 that leads all of Major League Baseball, look, you have to win the game's ultimate prize because people are just going to consider it a disappointment if you don't. Like I'm telling you, this team is absolutely historic. I mean, the run differential is the second best run differential in Dodgers history was the 1889 Brooklyn Bridegrooms, who won 209, who had a 290 run differential. In Los Angeles, the 2019 Dodgers had a 273 run differential. The 2021 Dodgers had a 269 run differential. This team is shattering essentially every single Dodgers team record there is. So, yeah, there definitely is going to be a lot of pressure on this team to get it done. And I think when you compare this team, let's say like a 2001 Mariners team, right? A team that won 116 games. That team, they had a payroll $73+ million. That was 11th in baseball. Yes, you had the Griffeys and the Edgar Martinez's and the Jay Buhners, that great team, but Ichiro, but still, but still, I mean, I think that when you look at this team, there'll be a lot more pressure on them to succeed. But yeah, I do love that team, and that was a great team for that Mariners team. It was tough to see them lose in the ALCS to the Yankees. But here we go. Dodgers, they win 98-43. They win, and they improved to 98-43 on the season. They have obliterated the competition in the NL West. And I have a question for you guys. What happened? How in the NL West? How was the West won? Because I was told before the season that this was going to be a competitive division. Well, the Dodgers, they're up 20.5 games to the San Diego Padres, and they're up 30.5 games to the San Francisco Giants, who won the division by a game last season. So, I mean, what happened? I mean, geez. I mean, the Dodgers came back and they won this division with force. But let's jump back into this comment section and hear what you guys have to say. We got Let's Go Dodgers. We wash his hands. That's from Walter. Jason, could only imagine just how good this team would be if they didn't have those pitching injuries they have. Yeah, Jason, and look, attrition and injuries happen, but that is what separates the Dodgers from other teams. They have the ability to bring guys up. They have the ability to know to sign a Tyler Anderson for $8 million and turn him into a top 15 pitcher. They have a way to sign Andrew Heaney for $8.5 million and get him to be effective for them in his role. So I definitely think that you got to give this Dodgers team credit because, yes, they do spend a lot of money, but they also spend it very wisely. And I think this team, you got to give the bullpen a lot of credit. They've been the best in baseball. I mean, you talk about run producing and run prevention. This team just knows what they're doing. And yeah, it is crazy to think if they were at full strength for the entire season, if they did have Blake Treinen, who, yeah, you didn't have Blake Treinen, but you also allowed someone like Evan Phillips to shine and a Yency Almonte to shine. So there is a silver lining because if you have everyone healthy, you don't have the ability to have some other guys emerge and get opportunities to play. But yeah, I mean, this is a team that you could possibly see winning 120 games if they were at full strength. I agree with you. Anthony Keene, I had Dodgers versus Yankees, not going to switch it now, although I'm not so big on the Yankees anymore. I don't think the Yankees fans are too big on the Yankees anymore when you consider the season they had, but at the end of the day, Yankees still have a chance. I mean, really, they're still in first place in their division at 86-56, 6 games up on the Blue Jays. Anything can happen. Lots of talent on that team. I wouldn't rule out the Bronx Bombers just yet. Are the Padres even going to make the playoffs? I mean, wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be wild if the San Diego Padres didn't even make the playoffs after I guess they're just content on winning the deadline. Maybe they think that they can hang a banner and have a parade in the streets of the Gaslamp District just from winning the deadline. I'm not so sure. Maybe they do, but yeah, it's really interesting to see how it's going to pan out for them. And even if they do get in the if you look at right now, the San Diego Padres, they are sitting at 78-64. So, yeah, there's still, I memean, you got the Phillies and the Braves. The problem is the NL East that is kind of messing things up for the teams at the end there. But yeah, I mean, if you look at right now wild card standings, you got the San Diego. They're still up a couple games on the Brewers. I think they'll make it, but even if they do, you got to face the Cardinals in that first round. So it'll be very interesting. By the way, who would you rather face? Who do you think is going to pose a bigger threat to the Dodgers, the Braves or the Phillies in that first round? Let me know down below in the DS. If that, because if the postseason started today, they would play the winner of the Braves or the Phillies. But first game of the playoffs for us is in 4 weeks. Jose Rod, yeah, it feels like a long time. Nobody cares who didn't win the World Series, Boomer Assassin. I mean, look, it's true. It's true. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It is absolutely true. This team, look, the reality of the situation with this Dodgers team, they could go 162-0 if they don't win the World Series. It would still be considered a failure. I mean, that's just the reality. That is the high-stakes poker that this team is engaged in at this point. And look, that's just the reality. So the beauty of it all, though, is that it's not that this doesn't mean nothing, because this means a lot. I see there's an idiot on YouTube, iTalk Studios. This guy's a moron. He's saying the Dodgers' success means nothing. No, this success means a lot because it allows this team to get to full strength. It allows them to rest guys, and I think that's really one of the only reasons why the Dodgers didn't win the World Series last year is because they ran out of gas. It's because they were chasing the Giants from wire to the very last game of the regular season. They were forced to play in the wild card game where Max Scherzer had to pitch. Then we saw he had dead arm later in that postseason. So to me, the benefit of clinching so early and sewing up your division is now you have an opportunity to get guys off their feet, to get guys some rest, also to allow guys to work their way back, to allow Dustin May to get a few more starts, to see if you can get Blake Trinan back in late September, which is the plan right now, to see if you can get Tommy Kahnle, who he's a guy that I think that if he lights the world on fire and you see him missing bats and you see him shoving out there on the mound, that he can find a way to get on this postseason roster. So I think the Dodgers are in a great position because they clinched so early. Because, look, I know there's the rest versus rust thing, but we saw where the Dodgers rested last year, or were they rusty? Last year, they didn't have enough rest. They didn't have enough in the tank. They were leaking oil in the postseason. They were playing with their check engine light on, and this time around, the fact that they did take care of business so quickly this year and so consistently throughout the entire season, that's going to allow them to have that advantage of being at full strength from a health perspective in the postseason. So to me, it does matter. But I bet Padre fans are still happy they won the trade deadline. LMAO, I'd be stroking. I'm pretty sure they did. Oh, I like that Andrew G. That's a winning take right there. Vin Tober, I like it. Bye. We got Gonsolin pitching or not. In the playoffs is huge. Boomer Assassin. Yeah, I said it early on Twitter. That is one of the big X factors right now for this Dodger team is can they get Tony Gonsolin right for the postseason? Can they get him at full strength? Because, look, he's an all-star. I mean, he's had this forearm injury, and he wasn't able to throw at full intensity during his bullpen session on Sunday, but he's going to throw another bullpen session tomorrow, and the team still believes that the Catman will be able to return by the end of the season. So there's still hope that the Catman can come back and be that guy. And look at his numbers on the year, a 2.10 ERA, a .86 whip, 116 punch-outs, a 16-1 record if you're into wins and losses. And yeah, I absolutely agree. You need to load up with pitching. You can never have enough pitching. Pitching wins in the postseason. And if you get Tony Gonsolin back, he's going to be fantastic for this team, and he's going to improve their chance of winning it all. But good pitching beats good hitting, especially in the playoffs. Get the starters right and healthy. Some clutch hitting in October, and will be parading down Vin Scully Lane. I love that one, too. That's from RNORIG 44 over on YouTube. I'm glad we didn't get Pedro Baez back. Ha ha ha. Pedro Baez, hey man, he probably hasn't even gone to the car yet after being DFA'd. I mean, after being released, he's so slow. Hi Shannon, I block you. What's up with Shannon? Do I need to block someone? Take it, Shannon. What's up with Shannon? I don't even see it. Let me look. Shannon, Walter, they will. Okay. Guess what, guys? Shannon's is getting El Blanco. Guys, guess what? This is a NL Division West Championship party, but it's also a block party. Shannon got blocked. There we go. Bye-bye. I should get a hit the road jack. Hit the road jack. You are delusional. You think the Yankees make the World Series. Braves. So you'd rather see the Dodgers face with the Braves. That's from Edgar and Jason over on YouTube. Nancy, watching the Dodgers clinch the division today makes my passion for baseball worth every minute. Hashtag for the love of the game. I like that one. Yeah, I mean, when you see a team that is so focused on the day-to-day, and they're always saying the cliche answers like take it one game at a time and this and that. It's great to see them kind of let loose for a minute, party it up, celebrate your accomplishments, celebrate your successes. So yeah, I think that it's great for the Dodgers to really just embrace this. I mean, you really should. So, I mean, I'm drinking every night because we drink to my accomplishments. Hashtag Drizzy Drake. Yeah, here we go. Back in the comment section. Would you rest any players from Jorge C? I think you take it player by player. I think that, yes, you want to continue to have a rhythm. Yes, you want to stay locked in at the plate. But at the end of the day, rest is going to help. Because, look, those postseason games, they're a beast. It takes a lot out of players. I've talked to players about playing in the postseason, and they'll tell you it's like one game is like 10 regular season games. That is how exhausting and how much it takes out of you. So I definitely think you want to give guys rest. I think Justin Turner, you don't want to see him have a hamstring injury in the postseason. You don't want to lose Max Muncy because of Peterson's terrible base running there in the last game of the season. So I think having Miguel Vargas up, he's going to allow guys to get off their feet. He'll spell guys at third, the Muncies, the JTs. Hopefully you'll see him play at first base too. And then also you still want to keep the competition level up with guys like Cody Bellinger and Trace Thompson and Joey Gallo. You want to see Chris Taylor continue to find his swing. Don't forget too, Gavin Lux hopefully is going to be back at some point this week. So let's see if we can get Gavin Lux back and get him back on track. But oh yeah, I hate iTalk Studios. I mean, it was just I mean, I get it, it's clickbait and that's fine, but it just didn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, you could make the claim that his team is World Series or bust, but to say their success doesn't mean anything. It's just stupid because if you just look at the data, I mean, the higher the run differential, the better chance you have of winning a World Series championship. The more games you win. I mean, you're telling me home field advantage doesn't mean anything? Yes, the 88-win Braves team won last year. Yes, the 2019 Nationals won the year they did. And yes, you'll have teams with not as many wins and wild card teams win in baseball, and it does feel like a crapshoot sometimes, but you want to put yourself in a position to get that win. But here we go. Don't pay attention to haters, D-Mac. Enjoy the win. 4 weeks to go until the postseason. Yang Yi, to me, who is your biggest postseason X factor? Let me know down below in the comment section. Miller getting a start now. Doesn't appear that way. Michael Grove is getting the start tomorrow. He'll be on the bump. Great point, D-Mac. We worked our ass off just to get to the playoffs last year, and we got burned out. It's from Henry Vega. Yeah, and then I think that it all plays a factor. That's why the guys are popping bottles right now, because they miss the feeling of winning that division. They hate the idea that the Giants, the rival Giants, took the NL West. That is the Dodgers division. The Dodgers own the NL West. So for them to win that last year and take that away from them, I definitely think this team took it personal. And like Dave said, one of the goals this season was to win the NL West. So they accomplished a major goal today in winning the NL West. So yeah, give them the credit and allow them to celebrate. I don't see what's wrong with that at all. But I mean, yeah, the Dodgers, they dominated the Diamondbacks, and yeah, I think too, there's not been that many teams that have been able to do what the Dodgers have done. I mean, when you look at this postseason streak of at least 10 straight seasons, only the Atlanta Braves from 91 to the Braves won 14 straight from 91 to 93 and 95 to 2005, and the New York Yankees 13 straight from 95 to 2007. So it's not like this happens a lot. So this team has accomplished a lot, and they owe it to themselves to get it popping. But here we go, back in the comment section. Keep it classy. Anyone know who Duffy is? Javier Mora. Yeah, Danny Duffy. I posted a video of his highlights. Go check that on my Twitter account at DMAC_LA. And yeah, do you guys actually think that he existed? Do you think that that was just Photoshop, that someone photoshopped some random guy in a Dodgers sweatshirt and a Dodgers hat and said, hey, this is a guy named Danny Duffy? I mean, I just, has anyone ever seen a Danny Duffy? To me, he hangs out with the Chupacabra and Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and probably Kendrick Nunn as well, because I just have never seen him. And yeah, Dodgers legend Danny Duffy. And I just want to point out that all you guys out there, you all have the same amount of strikeouts as a Dodger as Danny Duffy does. You have the same amount of strikeouts, same amount of wins, same amount of games pitched at the big league level. You have the same as Danny Duffy. But here we go. We got this year is Scully. That's from Mike. We got TK. No one will be as good as the 1876 Chicago White Stockings. Nice pull there, TK 0. And how about the 1906 White Stockings that beat the 1906 Chicago Cubs that won 116 games? So how big of an impact do you think CT3 and Belly will be in the postseason? That's from McGirt over on YouTube. I think it's tough to say because Cody Bellinger, history tells us that he turns it on in the postseason, that he flips that switch, that he becomes Cody Clutch. Last season, you saw the game-winning hit in Game 5 of the NLDS versus the Giants. Look, if it weren't for Cody Bellinger, we could have lived through a year last year where you lost the division, you had the 8-year division win streak snapped by the Giants, and then you lost to them in the postseason. Well, Cody Bellinger made sure that didn't happen with that single off Dubon there in Game 5 of the NLDS. So I think it's possible. I think that you're starting to see at least he's open to making some mechanical changes to his swing that allow him to hit for more contact, because I think with Cody Bellinger, what I think he needs to remember is he doesn't have to be that 2019 MVP Cody. He doesn't need to be the MVP, the most valuable Bellinger. He just needs to be a guy that can hit down in the lineup, hit for contact, pass the baton, and yeah, when he goes deep, it's great. 17 home runs on the season, but he doesn't need to hit 47. He doesn't need to go absolutely berserk and hit crazy belly bombs. And I think that once you stop trying to hit home runs, then you start hitting home runs because you're not trying as hard, and big leaguers will tell you that. But that's an LA sports thing. Lakers next. We got this is the best I've seen the Dodgers play. That's from Not Smiley over on YouTube. We got there it is. The Mets rotation is the only thing that slightly worries me for the NLCS. Besides that, I'm not worried at all. That's from Ferg HD. Yeah, look, I mean, we'll see what happens with Max Scherzer. We'll see if Jacob deGrom can stay dominant. But yeah, I think that is a matchup that if they can set their rotation and win their division and face the Dodgers in the NLCS, then I think that is going to be the big difference there, because yeah, I don't think that they want anything to do with the Dodgers in the NLDS where they would have to burn one of those frontline guys for the wild card series just to get there. So we'll see if the Mets can hold on in their division, because right now, if you look at that division, they're only up on the Braves by a half game. So that's the big question there, is can they hold off that division and can they win the NL East crown and avoid that wild card round, because they do not want to face the Dodgers where you might have to throw out there a Cookie Carrasco, or you maybe have to throw out a Chris Bassett or a Walker, someone like that. And their offense, they're solid, but I would much rather face them than the I like that. Here we go. Tatis Terone. I like that. Henry Vega. Nice. I was calling Fernando Tatcheat, but I like that. Tatis, that's a fire take. There you go. Remember, you can't spell Padres without PED. It's my birthday, D-Mac. Well, happy birthday, JB12. Thanks for rocking with us. Job not finished. That's from Jose Rod over on YouTube. Eugene, Oregon in the house. Here we go. We got iTalk Studios or Clowns. Who do you think will step up in the postseason? That's from McGirt. I think this year a breakout player is going to be Trey Turner. I truly believe that, and I'm going to try to do LeVar Ball it to death. I'm going to LeVar Ball this one to death and speak it into existence, because a 561 postseason OPS, a guy that wasn't for his career, a guy that wasn't able to have the success that we had hoped that he would last season in October, and I think he's just so due. He's like a blockbuster video. He's just due, man. You got to step up, and I think this is the year for Trey Turner to do just that. And I think last season, he hears this crowd out there. He hears the naysayers that say it's postseason Trey or playoff maybe I'll start this one. I don't want to call him Playoff T instead of Playoff P, Playoff T. Like, I hope I don't have to say that, but I will if he doesn't get it done in October, because last year he just wasn't able to get that big hit. I mean, you saw in Atlanta, almost hit one out during that series and would have been a home run in so many different ballparks around the league, but it wasn't able to. But last year, in the postseason, Trey Turner, he hit .216, had an OPS of 500, 12 strikeouts and 51 at-bats, 11 hits, but just 2 extra base hits and 2 RBI, batting in that 3-hole. So I do think the big difference is he's not batting in that 3-hole. He's batting in the 2-hole, sandwiched in between a healthy Mookie Betts and a Freddie franchise Freeman. So I think he's going to be the guy that steps up, and I think Julio Urias is going to carry the Dodgers starting rotation like he carried the bullpen in 2020. But let me ask you guys down below, who do you think is going to step up down below? Let me know. But we got Carl. What is going on with Gavin Lux? So Gavin Lux, he's fine. He's going to be fine. He was out of the lineup on Tuesday. He's scheduled to participate in a simulated game Wednesday and expects to return to action Friday in San Francisco. So he's going to be back. Gavin Lux will be back for the Dodgers on Friday against the San Francisco Giants. So there is your answer on that. He's another guy I hope steps up too, because he had some big moments too with some hits batting down there in the lineup with Belly last season. But great to see the NL West back in LA. That's from JB12. We got Giants. We got Moose 1032. Giants cheated. You don't fall off that bad because of one player. They were doing something. Moose 1032. I'm so here for any conspiracy theories about the San Francisco Giants. I definitely think there was something up last season. I don't know what it was. We know they've stolen signs in the past. Was it where they all taken, was Gabe Kapler sharing his steroids with people? I don't know what it was, but it had to have been something. But here we go. What kind of pitcher will May be by the playoffs, and will Gonson pitch is the X factor for me. Great point, Boomer Assassin. Code Red is the X factor. That's from IB Strokin. Henry Vega having the DH position open was a plus for us as well. Henry Vega, absolutely, because look, you can have guys in this lineup, and Will Smith is another guy tonight who I thought benefit from that all season long. Will Smith is a guy you can DH at times. We know how great of a hitter he is. I don't like to hear people out there saying Will Smith is the greatest hitting catcher in baseball, that he's the best hitting catcher in baseball. No, he's one of the better hitters in Major League Baseball, and he was 3 for his last 19 heading into tonight. It was nice to see him get a hit late today. He ends up going 1 for 5, hit a ball hard. Here's a little of the box score report from tonight's game. Mookie goes 0 for 4. Trey went 1 for 4. Freddie Freeman goes 1 for 4. Smitty goes 1 for 5. Muncy 2 for 3 tonight, including his 20th home run of the season. By the way, 5 Dodgers have hit 20 home runs this year, and that is big time. Of course, you had the 30 home run quartet back in the 70s, but Dodgers, Mookie has 34, Trey has 20, Freddie has 20, that won tonight in the second inning, and then Freddie Freeman and then Will Smith has 21, and then Muncy has 21, and then Cody Bellinger has 17, so he's 3 away. But yeah, and then tonight also Chris Taylor goes 2 for 4. Joey Gallo went 1 for 4. He hit that bomb. Justin Turner, he got a base hit late, but the Dodgers, they get 4 runs on 9 hits. They get the 2 bombs, the 2 blasts there in the second. They picked up 1 in the third inning today, and they got 1 late with that home run. Of course, they got the home run by Muncy. Or they got the 2-run shot by Joey Gallo in the second after Muncy reached on an infield single to short. JT struck out swinging. Then the 1-1 pitch, Joey Gallo, Magic Joey, he hit an absolute tank to center, longest home run of the season for Joey. That put the Dodgers up 2-0. Then CT3, like we talked about earlier, he smoked one down the left field line, was thinking 3 for a second, and then he held up for a double. And then Cody Bellinger, a 3-0 pitch. He took a strike looking inside, a strike looking high and outside, and he fouled out for the second out of the inning. And then Mookie, he walked, giving the Dodgers runners on first and second, and then Trey Turner struck out swing to end the inning on a changeup down and in. So Dodgers got 2 runs on 3 hits there in the second. They didn't cash on that CT3 double, but still they worked that pitch count up. 42 pitches through 2 innings for Merrill Kelly. An ERA over 5 against the Dodgers. And then top of the third, 3-2 pitch, Freddie Freeman. He murdered that baseball. Still hasn't landing. Went right past that pool. And no, he hit it past the pole, 442 feet for his 20th bomb of the season. That put the Dodgers up 3-0. And then later in the 7th, a 3-2 pitch to Max Muncy. He crushed a bomb for his 20th of the year, 20th home run of the season for Max Muncy. That put the Dodgers up 4-0. Four-seam fastball, middle, didn't miss it, and that's all she wrote. Dodgers outscoring the D-backs 6-10 this series, and they've just been absolutely beastly against the D-backs all season long. They've now won 10 straight against Arizona. And also want to mention, too, 23 1/3 scoreless innings by this Dodgers starting pitching staff and bullpen combined. That's the longest since 2015. So the arms are getting it done as well. Want to mention a little bit about Caleb Ferguson. He ends up coming in there in the 8th inning, and he ends up walking Luplow. He gave that single to Varsho there on that curveball, bottom of the zone. Then he struck out Perdomo on a nice four-seam fastball, middle, but challenged him, and then he gets Kelly to ground into that double play. So nice job by him. And then how about Kimbrelsa? Craig Kimbrel, the frozen one. Another clean inning for Craig Kimbrel, his 9th scoreless appearance. What more can you say about him? He gets Marte to line to center for the first out. Then he gets McCarthy to ground to the pitcher. And then he got Walker to line to second. So a nice, efficient outing for him. And like I said in the last few shows, the difference between him is what you see again tonight, no strikeouts. He pounded the zone. He challenged hitters. He attacked the zone. He trusted his stuff. He's putting the ball in play, and he's getting the outs. So I definitely feel good about Craig Kimbrel tonight as well, so you got to give him some love too. But, yeah, guys, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for sure. And here we go. Good. They finally give Cody his bong back. William over on YouTube.
Finish him.
It's the Mets. If the Mets gets Judge next year, they will be scary. Henry Vega, yeah, you heard some whispers about the Mets being in the mix for Aaron Judge. We know Stephen Cohen has more money than God, so, hey, man, maybe he would stay in New York, stay in pinstripes, but they would be of the blue variety. But, yeah, would you guys like to see Aaron Judge in Dodger blue? Dodgers from Scott, except for the SD, for SD, Dodgers can lose in a short series to any of the playoffs teams. That's from Gary A. Yeah, look, when you're in a short series, I think, though, the difference between the Dodgers and what they're going to benefit from is you do have this extra round, right? And you do have this, it's not just a single wild card game like we've seen in the past, a single elimination wild card game. The Dodgers will benefit from having the best record in the National League, from having the best record in baseball, because they're going to have to tax the rotation and the bullpen of whatever team they're played. That bullpen, that rotation of whatever team they're going to be facing is going to be used to an extent, and that's going to work in the Dodgers' favor because, like I always say, the D in Dodgers stands for depth, so it's definitely going to help them. But can you talk about Cody Bellinger? I've talked about him at length. I'm actually going to drop another video on Cody Bellinger and some of the differences between his stance and his setup that he's made, a couple of the adjustments that he's making at the plate. But, yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say about Cody Bellinger. I mean, tonight it wasn't his night. You were hoping that he would make some more progress, but he ends up going 0 for 4 tonight. And some better at-bats, getting deeper into counts, but had the 2 strikeouts and yesterday. But he had been 4 for his last 8 heading into today, and you like to see him hustling down the line, getting those infield singles. So yeah, I think the big takeaways for me is, one, Clayton Kershaw looks like he's feeling good physically. Cooperstown curves ball that he threw in the bottom of the 6th, I think that lets you know that his back is feeling good. The fact that he can get that leg out in front like that. He retired 13 in a row since allowing that hit to Perdomo in the 3rd. He has a 1.5 ERA in 18 innings of work since returning from that back injury. And I think also, if you look at him facing the lineup the 3rd time around, this season opponents rating .292 versus Kersh in the 3rd time through the lineup and under 200 in the first 2 times. So I think the sweet spot is 6 quality innings from Clayton Kershaw, and you let the bullpen get those final outs. But I think that's one of my big takeaways is Clayton Kershaw continues to look good physically and healthy, and the stuff is on point. The command's there, the feel for that slider, the curveball. I think that he's definitely heading in the right direction and definitely going to be the Dodgers' number 2 starter in the postseason. Also, I think that Chris Taylor, another big takeaway, that he continues to take steps in the right direction. He continues to find his swing. He's now 5 for his last 11, a home run yesterday, an extra base hit tonight. So hitting the ball ball hard, finding his timing, getting his rhythm back, and I think that Chris Taylor is definitely another big takeaway from tonight. And also big takeaway is this is a really special Dodgers team. This isn't a normal team. This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-generation type teams. Look, this team is going to win somewhere around 110 to 112 games. They're on pace to win 112 games. We've talked about the run differential and how dominant they've been. And to me, you got players at the top. This might be the last time you see Trey Turner in Dodger blue, the last time you see Justin Turner in Dodger blue, the last time you see Clayton Kershaw in Dodger blues. A lot of guys that could be on different teams or retire after this season. So definitely savor this run. This is definitely special. You want to bottle this up and just really just live and breathe every moment with this team, because you might not see a team like this ever again in Dodger blue. So that's really the big takeaways. Do not take this for granted. This isn't normal. We are in the golden age of Dodger baseball. Go Luxy. I'm expecting Gavin Lux to turn into a breakout national level star this postseason. I like that take. That's a fire take right there from Anthony Keene. We got Dong Kim, my step-up player equals Roberts will put in Trace as a pinch hitter, and Trace will deliver. That is a great take. I like how specific it is, Mr. Dong Kim. And, yeah, I think that the way they use Trayce Thompson is going to be very interesting, because will Cinderella turn into a pumpkin at some point, or will Trace continue to produce like he has ever since he's got another opportunity with this team? Because he can be a real weapon for this Dodger team off the bench. Put him in spots. Maybe you platoon him. Maybe you see a situation where Cody Bellinger can't figure it out, so you start him in center field. So I definitely think he's going to have a role. And like I said, I think that by the end of this postseason, Klay Thompson is going to be known as Trayce Thompson's brother and not the other way around. LA, baby. We got Tray's Gallo season. Trayce will have a big moment this postseason. Mark my words. That's a fire take. Go get out of the ocean. Repeat. I think JT will be clutch in the playoffs. That's from Adrian. Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, if you look at Justin Turner, he is one of the most clutch players this Dodgers team has ever seen. Just ask John Lackey in the 2017 Chicago Cubs, and you just look at his postseason numbers. He's been a guy that's always stepped up. An 846 postseason OPS for the Dodgers. He has so many different records for LA. 13 home runs. He's tied with Seager, I believe, on that one. But 42 RBIs, 19 hits. 19 doubles. He's 83 for 302 in October. So he's a guy that always steps up for LA when you need him most. I think one of the when you talk about Justin Turner, I mean, what more can you ask for from him? He's just been one of the real cornerstones of this franchise since he's put on the blue. But a couple more here, guys, and we are not finished. That's from Mass over on YouTube. We will win it all from Scott Iyer. Yes or no question. We'll let this one. We'll head out of here. Yes or no? Will the Dodgers win the World Series? Give me how many games and who they'll play against. To me, my preseason prediction was the Dodgers would win 107 games. Hey, at least it looks like I'm going to get it right, that they would set a new franchise record in wins, but also that they would face the Trastros, the hated ones, the cheaters, the Trasterisks in the World Series, and that they would win in 6 games. I think the Dodgers will win the World Series in 6 games against the Houston Astros. What is your prediction? Let me know down below. I agree about Barnes. We got Muncy has worked hard to get his average above 200. Hard to believe with his struggles this year that he is tied with Trey and Freddie with 20 bombs. Richard Burris. Yeah, I mean, look, man. I mean, he has been the most prolific hitter for the Dodgers when it comes to being their thumper, when it comes to being a home run hitter. Most home runs in the Dodgers since 2018. So, yeah, I mean, that's when he's at his best. He's going deep, and he's providing that pop. So, yeah, it's great to see him turn it around. No question about it. I miss Forsythe. Random. Andrew G. The crumble. Yeah, all the crumble crybabies. That's from Steve Elias. Kimbrel trending upwards. That's from Gary. Anthony Keene, in honor of our homegirl Diane, hit that like button. Yeah, where's Diane tonight, man? Maybe she's partying hard in Arizona. Major props to Kevin Ethier for having the cojones to jump in the D-back pool. That was awesome. It was awesome. It was classic. And the problem was that they challenged the Dodgers. They said they didn't want anyone to jump in that pool, so the Dodgers gave them a big middle finger, and they jumped in that pool, probably pissed in that pool, and that will always be the Dodgers pool. Really think about it. If you do like the top 10 Diamondback stories of all time, one of them is the Dodgers celebrating in their pool. I thought today what they should have done was have a bunch of kids blow up pools and a bunch of slip and slides and slip and slide and go and blow up pools in the Diamond. I think that would have been a great story. But D-Mac is a belly Ever on Judge. With D-Mac, do you think the Dodgers should ease up on the starters and give, I think definitely across the board you want to get some rest. I think at this point you're in a situation where you've already won this division. You're in a situation where there's a really good chance that you win the best record, not just in the National League, but in all of Major League Baseball. If you look at the standings right now after tonight, the Dodgers are sitting at 98-43, 6.5 games up on the Houston Astros. Check that, Trastros, for best record in baseball. So you want to maintain that, but you also want to allow guys to work through it. I think Dave Roberts, the best thing about Doc is he's going to be case by case with all these players. If there's a veteran that says, hey, I want some more reps out there, I want to play, and they have a good reason why, I think Dave is going to allow them to play. So I think that guys that need rest are going to get rest. I think guys that need to continue to play will continue to play, and the guys coming back from injuries, the Gavin Luxes, Tommy Kahnleys, Blake Trinan later, Gonsolin later, those guys are getting opportunities to show what they can do and show the progress that they have made. So I think that, yeah, so just a big mix. Dodgers will win in 5 against the Astros. That's from Iris K. Chev says yes in 4. Yes, they will play Houston. They will win it in 6. LLWC over on YouTube says that. We got Adrian talked about that earlier. I go Urias. I'd go Kershaw, and it really kind of depends on the health of Tony Gonsolin. So it's a little premature to make that assessment yet, and also how is Dustin May going to progress. But as of right now, I think Tyler Anderson is a guy that you would slot in there in one of those 4 spots, maybe even as your Game 3 starter in a situation, and then we'll see what they do in a piggybacking situation with an Andrew Heaney, a Dustin May, a Tony Gonsolin, depending on how all those guys progress. But I think right now you got to go Julio Urias at the top. You go Clayton Kershaw as your number 2 starter. I think right now, if you're judging it based on performance and health, you have to go Tyler Anderson as your Game 3 starter and then Dustin May as your Game 4 starter. But when all guys are healthy, if Tony Gonsolin proves that he's healthy, I think he absolutely gets the ball in Game 3, and then Dustin May or Tyler Anderson gets the ball in Game 4. So we'll see how it works out at the end here in this season. But Tyler Anderson is a guy where, yes, the swing and miss hasn't been where it's been this season, but like I said, he's Tyler the outs creator. He just knows how to get out of innings. He knows how to create a lot of chase outside of the zone. I mean, I remember when we made the signing for Tyler Anderson, that was kind of the first thing I focused on, whereas you don't see crazy punch-out numbers, but he does have the ability to get swing and miss outside of the zone. Gets a lot of soft contact. He misses barrels, and also that changeup, lots of ground balls. I like Tyler Anderson, man. I think that he has the pulse, too. I think he's got that dog, that ex-dog, woof, 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 that we talk about. But here we go. Dodgers in 5 against the Trastros. I want the redemption there. That's what Fluffy told me. That's what Fluffy Gabriel Iglesias told me at the Blue Carpet Gala. He said he wants the Houston Astros. He wants the revenge series. D-Mac, do you think the Dodgers... Oh, I think you got that one already. Vintober, can we make this happen? Hashtag, we will. We'll work on that. I got you. We'll get the T-shirts made. I'll send you one tomorrow. Yes, this is from pound for pound. Yes, in 6 versus Mariners, LA Dodgers, World Series champs. Nice. Ryu's cannonball in the pool was classic. Alex Renteria, absolutely. I love Ryu's cannonball in the pool, but I think my favorite was just the Puig just falling almost like straight up like that. That was great. 108 games, 7 versus the Trastros. Dodgers beat Yankees in 7 games. That's from Carl. Wow, Major League Baseball would love your prediction. A 7-game series between New York and LA. That'd be fantastic for the sport. Chris missed 40-man October roster. Pitchers need rest. Yeah, I think that maybe that's a topic I might jump into down the stretch here. Got some thoughts on that. Kimbrel is still on fire. What's really up with Trinan? We kind of talked about that earlier, but I'm going to drop a complete injury report tomorrow morning with all the latest. So look out for that on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. But yep, guys, I can stay and talk to you all night long, but we'll get a couple more in here, and then we'll head out. But congrats on the win. Congrats on the 9th division championship in 10th years. Heaney for 1 inning. Gordon, Dodgers versus Mariners. Haha. We got Let's Go Bobby. Let's see Bobby Miller from Edgar. We got Chris. If we play Houston, we're sweeping. Oh, I would love that. That'd be sweet revenge. William, is the Giants still a team? I don't see them. Trey Turner still Trey Turner needs to seat for a week or two. I don't know, man. He's a guy in a platform season. He loves to play. That would be tough to do, but he will probably get some rest. There's no question about it. Mike Bolsinger for Game 1 starter. Iris K, they still need to play. Their chemistry depends on playing together. Yeah, there is. You do want to keep this up. You do want to try to win each and every game, and I think that's what sets this Dodgers team apart, is they truly go to the ballpark thinking they're going to win a game that day. So win for, wait, this is from Stavin. Win for Vin, win for Queen Elizabeth, win for Doug, Crank McCain. I don't know, man.
Finish him.
I really don't want Heaney starting in the playoffs either, Boomer Assassin. I don't think you'll see that. I definitely don't. First couple times to the order, he's effective. Third time, not as much. But like I said, you're going to see other guys go down for other teams. And I think the Dodgers, they have depth. And the two biggest guys that can get back are Treinen and Gonsolin. But yep, guys, thanks for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Dodgers beat Guardians in 5 games in the World Series from DB Hatcher. Win for Vin, that's from Pound for Pound. Judge 2 more bombs, bring up Miller. We got Dodgers didn't even give the Giants a chance this season. That's from David. Good night, ladies in blue. Yep, guys, it's time for Dodger bedtime for everyone here at the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel and the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We got a couple more. We got Dodgers win 112 games in 5 again, Astros. But thanks as always for rocking with us. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. Go pop some champagne. Go take a shot for me. Go chug some beer for Chug McCain. I'd appreciate that. Your Dodgers are your NL West champions once again, back on top. Now let's go win a World Series. But see you guys next time. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.